today we'll continue what we started previous time. I'll share my PowerPoint with you. Previous time we took the section of personality disorder and drug addiction. If you remember, previous time we took personality disorder and drug addiction. We took the first part, personality disorder. Do you remember what is the disorder that we took? Do you remember? It's antisocial disorder, okay? Antisocial disorder. The person who has who is the antisocial disorder. And we said that antisocial doesn't mean that he is against the society or anything. No, he has no feelings. A person who treats others as objects. He takes advantages of people and then he leaves them. Okay, this is antisocial disorder. A person who has no feelings, who take advantages of others and then leaves them. Today we'll take the second part, which is drug addiction. Okay, drug addiction. You see my PowerPoint, girls?
Yes.
Are you with me, all of you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Drug addiction. So he says, the author of the book, he says that millions of people depend on drugs. Okay? And by drugs, they hurt themselves physically, socially, and psychologically. Why? Before we start to understand why a person might be addicted, let's understand something called psychological dependence. Psychological dependence, and I want you to think with me, because this is applicable in all our lives too, not only for addicted, no, but for other people also. In drug addiction or in alcoholism, or people who take alcohol, much of alcohol doses, they suffer from something called psychological dependence. And this psychological dependence means what? It means that users come to depend so much on the feeling of well-being they obtain from drugs they use. We all have something, or we adapt something, we adopt it and we take it and make it our escape. So a girl might watch movies 24 hours a day. She escapes from reality and she goes to this movie. Another girl will go to food. Another one will go to food. Overconsumption of food. She eats and eats and eats. She doesn't stop eating. Okay? Another girl might go into relationships. She loves this guy and then she leaves him and she goes to another guy and then she leaves him and then another guy. Okay? Another one goes to reading. Another one goes to, and that's it. It's called psychological dependence, when the person is psychologically dependent on a substance to change his mood, to change his attitude. Okay? Again, to depend on another thing to change your mood. Okay? It is dependence, the independent and dependent. Independent is a person that can be alone, and an independent, powerful person. Dependent is a person who needs to lean on something. So here they lean on what? On an escape. In this chapter, we took those who lean on drugs, those who lean on alcohol, who use these symptoms, these substances to escape their minds. So they are psychologically dependent on another substance. So when they use the drugs to change their feelings, it means they are psychologically dependent, okay? What are kinds of drugs? They can be addicted to alcohol. Here we talk about the literal meaning of being an addict to a substance. But I'm talking about that in reality, people are also addicted to work, to shopping, to movies, to relationships. On the other way, alcohol, caffeine, nicotine, cocaine, and marijuana. These are the most popular in United States. When the person is deprived of the drug, okay, he becomes what? When you take it out of him, And of course, one thing I forgot, what is the major addiction now, girls? What is the thing that everyone is addicted to now? And if it is taken out of him, he loses his mind.
Electronics?
Yes, electronics. Nowadays, mobiles, okay, social media. People nowadays are really addicted to social media, to the likes and shares. Okay, they do crazy things just to catch the attention and likes and retweets and shares and this. So when a person, when you take this substance of him, he becomes restless, okay, and uneasy. In addition to psychological dependence, the drugs can lead to psychological addiction, okay? Because we know that in some countries, for example, marijuana is not is legal, okay? Hash is illegal. If you go to Holland or something, people smoke hash in the streets. Amsterdam especially, it's legal. It's okay to buy weed, okay? So they allow you, the government allow you to smoke marijuana or weed, okay? But then you can, it can lead you to psychological addiction. So a person is addicted when his system has become so used to the drug. So when a person can be an addict, when his body system is so used to this drug, okay? And when he takes that drug, his body is in his normal state. He feels well. But if the drug is not in the body, the person experiences extreme physical discomfort. Okay, as if he is deprived of oxygen or water, because we know that we need oxygen and water to survive. If you take a drug out of an addict, it is like taking the oxygen. He can't live. Okay. With the meaning of addiction came the meaning of tolerance. What is tolerance? Tolerance says that once a person is addicted to drugs, he develops tolerance. What tolerance means? That his body becomes so accustomed to the drug that he has to keep increasing his dosage to obtain the high achieved with smaller doses. What does it mean? Addiction always starts with one cigarette. Just to try this cigarette, you're not gonna lose anything. Just try this stuffed one. I'm talking about stuffed cigarette. Okay, even the normal cigarette, by the way, normal cigarette damages your lungs and your health generally. But addiction is this stuffed cigarettes. This is this alcohol, this weed, and not weed, the cocaine, the heroin. These white substances they kill the body. So what is tolerance again? Tolerance is he starts with one. One is not enough anymore, so he starts to take two. After a while, two is not enough because your body gets used to it. Your body gets used to what you give. Those people who take painkillers, okay, tablets, painkillers. There are people who are addicted to painkillers. Why? Whenever they feel a headache, they take one Panadol. Then they increase the dosage, 2 Panadol, 3 Panadols, 4. They go to Profen. Then they go to morphine. They have to increase the dosage because the small dosages are not enough anymore for them. Small dosages do not function. So they have to increase the dosage they take. This is tolerance, that your body gets used. One cup is not enough. I have to take 10 cups. Okay? So tolerance means that your body got used to what you give him, so you need to increase the dosage. And with the term, what we said, the tolerance comes the withdrawal. What is withdrawal? A state of physical and psychological upset during with the body and mind revolt against and finally get used to the absence of the drug. Are you with me, girls?
Yes, miss.
Other girls, Other girls.
Yes, Miss.
Yani, I need to hear voices to know that you are with me. I think it's an interesting topic. Yani, psychology is not a dull topic, right? Do you agree with me or?
No, it's very nice.
Yeah, it is.
Great that you like it. So withdrawal, when the person decides to, so now we are talking about the terms with addiction. So we take addiction, then tolerance, that the body needs more, and then the withdrawal when the person decides finally to stop taking the substance. So he faces a state of physical and psychological upset. He's physically sick, he's psychologically sick, upset. Why? Because the body and the mind revolt. You know what is revolt? From a revolution. Revolt against this substance. We don't want to take this substance anymore, but my body needs it, but I don't want it. My body needs it, but I don't want it. So I suffer. The person who's addicted to something, he suffers while the withdrawal out of this drug out of his life. So the withdrawal symptoms vary from person to person and from a kind of drug to a kind of drug, because you can quit the smoking, you can quit smoking weed, you can quit smoking hash, but quitting heroin, cocaine, quitting alcohol is too hard, because they take the body into an extreme state of mind. An extreme state. So to bring him out from this extremity is too hard, not like a normal cigarette. Okay, so they range from a mild case, a person who stops smoking cigarettes, for example, he is nervous, he has nausea, but then an extreme cases, it's if you cut the, if someone is addicted to heroin, this is the worst kind. If you stop it, suddenly, they cannot stop it suddenly. They have to go to a place, or for a specific place, and they give them dosages of heroin. And if he is used to, I don't know the quantity, but if he is used to take 20 grams, they give him 50 grams, then 10 grams, then 5 grams, gradually. Because if they cut the substance once, they may die. If they cut the substance suddenly, the body collapses. The body cannot function. So it might cause death. So withdrawal depends and differs and depends on the kind of the substance. If it's just a cigarette, it's okay, just headache and nausea, but then shake of hallucination, coma when he is not aware of anything, and then death. So there is a technique to stop taking or to heal from addiction, a technique. Alcoholism. And alcoholism, as he says in the book, it is the most common problem in the United States. Why? Because alcohol is legal. When it is legal, you don't feel like you're doing something wrong. What if they say to you, tea is addiction, but we drink tea. But if you drink hundreds of tea, you'll be an addict. Not hundreds, I mean 10 cups of tea a day, it means you're an addict to tea. Look at the very small caffeine, because the tea has a very few amount of caffeine. What addicted to coffee, these people say, my mind, I cannot focus without coffee. It's addiction too, but in a good way. But this is the same, because we can drink coffee as much as we want. So in United States too, they can drink alcohol as much as they want. So the cost in human suffering in the alcoholic is impossible to measure. Alcoholism is the major problem there, more than addiction. So 40%, because when a person is addicted to drugs, it is illegal. And it is, if someone sits next to you in a restaurant and he takes injection, you feel weird. But if he drinks alcohol, it's okay, he drinks alcohol. 40% of death is automobile accidents. It's driving. That's why they always test drivers. And 40% of all murders, from the alcoholism. Why? Because people start with a drink. One drink. I need one drink. Just give me one drink, one shot. Why? This slows down our inhibition. It slows down our nerves. Calm down. 2 drinks, what happens after 2 drinks? Make a person relaxed. Oh, talkative and playful and giggly. So a shy girl might talk and open her heart to anyone. Why? Because she's more relaxed, talkative, playful, and giggly. So as number of drinks increase, the number increases, problems multiply. So now she, at 2, she became talkative and playful. What will happen at 4, 5? As we can see in movies, she might wake up in the morning in a different flat with strange people, maybe stolen or raped or anything, because she cannot remember what happened when she was drunk. Okay? Why? Because the person's psychological and physiological functions begin to shut down. She's blind, she's deaf, she cannot function well anymore. She wakes up in the morning and she doesn't remember what happened previous day. Why? Because her psychological body functions have been shut down. Okay? Perceptions and sensations become distorted. She can't think well. She can't take decisions. So people can take advantage of her, or of him. He can wake up in the next morning to find himself in a different place with different people, and they have stolen all their money, his car, everything. So this person becomes what? He becomes totally distorted. Okay, behavior becomes obnoxious. The speech becomes slurred in his speech. The reactions becomes sluggish and disappear. And it depends on how rapidly the alcohol enters the bloodstream. Even in the United States, when they find someone, or in Europe countries, when they find a man, he drinks in the morning, and they say a couple is drinking more at the morning. It is, how can you drink in the morning? Because there's 1 cup a day at the end before we sleep as well. Okay, but when they increase it, there is the problem. Alcohol also produces psychological dependence. He is totally dependent on alcohol. He cannot think, he cannot focus, he cannot dream, he cannot laugh, he cannot be funny without the substance. Tolerance is increasing the dosages and addiction, finally. Okay, with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Stages of alcoholism. Stages of alcoholism. What happens in alcoholism? The first stage, the person discovers that the alcohol reduces her tensions, gives her self-confidence, reduces social pressure. So just give me one drink to have fun with the girls, or have fun with the boys, or have fun with my friends. My drinks make me feel better. When I drink, I feel better. This is the first stage. The person discovers that with alcohol, he reduces the tension. Then, when she increases the dosage, he begins to drink so heavily. So she feels she has to hide it. She begins sneaking drinks. She drinks in the morning because she has a presentation to make. She drinks in the evening because she is anxious about a date or something. She is unable to remember what happened in the drinking episode. Here comes the problem. When she drinks and she behaves, when she wakes up in the morning, she doesn't remember what happened through the drinking time. Then the beverage becomes a drug. Then he reaches the last stage when he is an addict to alcohol. And In United States, homeless people, they are addicts to alcohol or addict to any substance. And this is what ruins their life. This is what ruins their life. Okay? They are addicts to a substance. So no matter how they took money, they go and buy, they don't go buy food and water. No, they go to buy alcohol. If you give them money, they go to buy the substance they are addicted to. So the final stage is the individual drinks compulsively, extreme dosages, and she or he becomes inefficient in work. He cannot work anymore, and he just wants to go drinking spree, drinks that may last for weeks. He doesn't do anything but drinking. So he or she are now alcoholic, drinking continuously, drinking continuously, eating infrequently, and she feels sick when deprived of her drug. Her health deteriorates. Her health deteriorates. The health is dying. Causes of alcoholism. Alcoholism may develop from both environmental and genetic factors, because they say a child who was raised with an alcoholic father or mother, he is more tend to be an alcoholic too. Okay, 4 times higher if a member of the family is an alcoholic. Children of alcoholic parents may also be raised in an atmosphere of distrust, over dependence, and stress, which contributes to the possible development of alcoholism. Okay, treatment. What about treatment? The first step in treating the alcoholic is to help her through the violent withdrawal. So we have to help the person in front of us to take the drug out of his body or her body. It's called delirium treatments or treatments. Delirium is gradually typical of alcoholic addiction, and then to try and make her healthy. Yes, dear?
Is it gradually decreasing the amount?
Yes. Yes.
And
or dear, she may be given a variety of treatments from drug to psychotherapy. She can take also pills, but anything to calm him down. As we said, an addiction cannot be cut suddenly.
Yes, of course. لأنه مرة once I read إنه people إنه alcoholic people, when they're put in a hospital, for example, they can't put them in a normal room, walls or bricks walls. So they put sponges on the walls. For example, when an alcoholic person needs the amount of alcohol he takes, for example, every day. So when he doesn't find it, he kicks his head, for example, or he cracked his head بالwall. So they put sponge.
Yes, I tell you one thing more. There are no bed sheets. They take the bed sheets. Why? Because people use it to hang themselves and commit suicide. No mirrors, no knives, no spoons, nothing. Plastic spoon, stainless plates. So they cannot cut themselves.
This place is called the sanatorium, where people get their treatment there, who are people who are very addicted to drugs.
Yes. Yes, there are special places with a special atmosphere and special commitment. I'm telling you, even the bed sheet, they do not allow them to have bed sheets in case they commit suicide. Why? Because their body is collapsing. The body is collapsing and the pain is unbearable. They cannot bear the pain.
In the treatment, they can't cut the amount, the alcohol immediately. They should decrease it first, بعدين
Yes, and what is worse than alcohol? What is the worst is the cocaine and heroin. They have to take dosages. So this is called withdrawal, suddenly and gradually.
Yes.
But what happens after you take the substance of this person? Because this is what happened normally. A person goes to in a rehab, and there in the center or in the rehabilitation, he stops taking, yani the doctors treat him well and they help him to stop taking the drug. But when he gets out of this place and he goes back to his normal flat, normal friends, normal work, to what he has been before, what happens in that time? He goes back to his old routine. Going back to your old routine is the major problem for getting back to your substance, because you face the same problems in the first place. They took this substance to escape reality. They took the substance to escape reality, to run from their real life. So when they come out of this, when they are come out of the rehabilitation and they meet their normal life, they see the same stresses, same stressors, same people, same everything. So what happens? They go back again. There was a television series, it is Egyptian, called, it is for Nelly Karim. I don't remember its name. Nelly Karim, she was an addict and she treated herself and she became a very different person, and she left everything and she traveled to Dubai, and there she got married. She had a daughter and everything, and then after they finished their work in Dubai, they came back to Egypt. The minute she entered her house, her old house, her old room, and she found all her stuff when she was an addict, she contacted her old friends. She became an addict again. She returned to her what? She returned to her previous lifestyle. Because when you are addicted to something, this substance is more powerful than you are. That's why you fell in the first place. It is more powerful than you, more powerful than your decisions. So what did they do? There was a man, I don't remember actually his name. This man was an alcoholic. Whenever he stops alcoholic, he goes back to drink again. Whenever he stops, and he was a prominent, well-being man, but when he drinks, he loses everything. So what happened? He tried a lot to stop and he couldn't. So he met accidentally he met another one who was an alcoholic too. So they talk together. They set their problems to each other. And from that, they find that when they want to drink, they meet each other, they talk about their desire to drink, and they remind each other of what is going to happen when they drink. So they forget the idea of drinking and they go back to home, they sleep in the morning, they work. The minute they feel they want to drink, they go to meet each other. And this was the beginning of an organization that called AA, Alcoholic Anonymous. Alcoholic Anonymous, AA. Okay? And for drugs, after Alcoholic Anonymous, because I said to you that alcoholism is the major problem in the United States, came Narcotic Anonymous. Narcotic Anonymous is for those who are addicted to drugs. But about Alcoholic Anonymous, AA is an organization that you are now a healed person. You do not take the substance anymore, but you need support. Why you need support? You need a physical therapy, a psychological therapy, not physical. Now you are physically treated. Your body doesn't need the substance anymore, but psychologically, you desire to have it. Why? Because I want to have this feeling of being away of any stress. I want to be distracted of this world. So the desire of being distracted remains in you. You physically don't need the substance anymore, but psychologically you still need it. So they established the Alcoholic Anonymous. It's an organization and now it has been spread all over the world, even in our countries. They make meetings every day. A person who suffers, as you watch in television, they sit in a circle, they say everything they think of, and people who get treated يعني 100% treated and they will never يعني psychologically they don't even يعني they change the way they look at the world and they change the way of their thoughts, their feelings, okay? They are not a dependent person anymore, they are not dependent on any substance again. They change how they look at the world. At that time, they became coaches to new addicts, to new addicts. So a person, when he finishes all his journey with quitting, and now he is a normal person, he starts to heal the new addicts. And this is how the organization continues, doesn't stop. And an organization like Alcoholic Anonymous for alcoholism, Narcotic Anonymous for drugs, compulsive eaters, those who eat too much because it's also an addiction, eating. Okay, so again, Alcoholic Anonymous is an organization for alcoholics run by people who have had drinking problems in the past and has been more successful than most organizations. Some alcoholics must turn to medical treatment. So beside medical treatment, okay, they are now free of the substance in their bodies. They need psychological treatment. They have to change the way they look at life. Okay? Okay, they say that there are some pills which are called anti-abuse, which they have the anti-abuse. It's what? A chemical that blocks the conversion of acetaldehyde. Do I pronounce it correctly? You took it in chemistry, acetaldehyde? Or you don't take it?
No, we didn't.
Okay, acetaldehyde is like sodium, a substance in your brain and body. It stops blocks the conversion of acetaldehyde to acetic acid. So when they give them pills to increase this process. So the liver converts alcohol. The liver, what is the most part that gets damage of alcohol is liver. So liver converts alcohol into acetaldehyde. This acetaldehyde, a toxic substance, and then converts acetaldehyde into acetic acid, and this is a harmless substance. Okay, so this is a way that if you drink again, you will die. You will kill yourself, because now with the medicine you take, this medicine makes the liver converts alcohol that you drink, it converts this alcohol into acetaldehyde, and the acetaldehyde, okay, is a toxic substance. It converts acetaldehyde then to acetic acid. Acetic acid is a harmless substance. Okay? Are you with me?
Yes, yes, miss.
So acetaldehyde, as we said, a toxic substance. But when they convert the acetaldehyde into acetic acid, is a harmless substance. Problems is that society and this was important point he said, problems is that the society tends to encourage social drinking and tolerate the first stage of alcoholism. If you watch television, English movies or English, even by the way, even in new Arabic series and movies, you find people, and this is totally against our traditions, our religion, everything, they drink. Why? Because they give you a message that drinking is fine. You just drink one cup, one glass, just drink one glass. In movies, in clips, in anything, girls, on Instagram, on Facebook, you find a man drinking, holding his cup, a woman holding her cup. So it is called what? A pressure, social pressure around you that everyone's drink. Let's go for a drink. Let's go for a drink, right? So it encourages you to have your first drink, and then you go to the second drink, and then you go to the 3 stages of alcoholism. That's it. We finished alcoholism. So you understand it, girls?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
You enjoyed it? يعني did it open any new areas in your brain? You give you new meanings to anything?
Actually, I know
Yes,
some
it
ideas that we
very
talked about, but it was a very
Jana or
good
Siham?
Siham now.
Siham, yeah.
Yes.
Talk, dear.
I said we know some ideas about what we just took. I like a background about drugs and alcohol, and now actually I knew something new, and actually was very nice lesson to take.
Great. Great, because psychology is so related to our lives. That's why I like this subject a lot. So what is the new thing you've learned today, Siham? And from where you got your previous information, your prior?
Actually, in our society, we have
Oh.
to know some ideas about alcoholism and drugs. And the new thing that I knew today about it's the stages and the toxic material that comes to the body.
Mhm.
Yes, it's my first time to know about it.
Yes, and I want to warn you girls that not only alcohol. There are eating compulsive disorder. There are social compulsive disorder too. When you use the thing more than needed, people who are addicted, they cannot leave their phones. This is a new addiction. Who cannot leave social media, this is new addiction. People who are addicted to likes and shares. People who seek attention everywhere. A girl who opens her snap and she pictures everything around her to be a fashionista or be a blogger or be. This is a new kind of addiction. A new kind of addiction. They cannot see the world without their cell phones, which is bad. Okay? I want you, يعني, for yourself, not of course for the subject, I want you to read more about alcoholic AA and NA, Alcoholic Anonymous and Narcotic Anonymous, if you want to read more about them and how they help people to heal around the world. Because these organizations, they do not make advertisements for themselves. They want for the person to search for them and go, because when a person wants, he will succeed to do this. When he really wants to heal, he will go and search for the way how he be healed, and he will continue his journey. And believe me, it's a very hard journey. And I know people who were when I was at college. I know people who were so well, especially boys who fall easily in addiction because they started with a cigarette, as we said. They were handsome. They had brilliant future, and they lost it all with addiction, because it changed how they look. It changes the body function, the brain functions. It destroys everything. Addiction destroys everything. يعني inshallah God prevents addiction to any of you in any under any circumstances. يعني God forbid. Okay.
Yes.
You have to be aware, because next year you'll be in college. You have to be aware. This is my second time to warn you of college, of your new word. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
New
I'll see
chapter.
you next week.
Inshallah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.